So good evening, LCD committee. Thank you guys for coming. I would like to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone. This is truly the first meeting we've really had this year with enough of the members so that we can get to work. I don't have any opening remarks other than please feel free to offer up anything that you all want to discuss at any meetings. What Letitia is going to do, her and Miss Holt Streeter and Miss Curry, is they're going to take back issues that we bring up in meetings that you guys may want to discuss further at the next meeting, because I really want to make sure that we stick to the time and give you guys an opportunity to ask questions about what's going on in your areas, or bring up some issues that maybe the LCD committee can really focus on. So as we go through the meeting tonight, feel free to ask Letitia to put that on the agenda. So with that said, I really want everyone to go around and introduce themselves. I'm Dr. Lattimore. I am the chair of the LDC committee, and I welcome you guys. Ms. Wilson?
My name is Evelyn Wilson. I'm a new member. I've only been here for 1 year. I've missed quite a few meetings. I don't know how my name got knocked off the list or my address got lost, but I did attend a couple of meetings last year.
Okay, well, Letitia has you now. Trust me.
Yes.
She will call you.
Good.
Okay, Ms. Paylor?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Paylor. I've been a member now 2 years. I haven't been as active as I've wanted to be, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things now.
Great, welcome. We look forward to you coming back.
I'm back.
We really know. Okay.
I'm back.
Delegate Woods, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here. Thank you all for your patience. I have literally been swamped with matters in the legislature, although it sounds like you all haven't been able to have meetings, and I probably have contributed to that. But I'm so glad to see all of your beautiful faces, and still very committed to trying to work with you, learn from you, and do what I can do to be of service to you. So thank you.
Thank you. And will you be giving an overview today of just what you do with the legislative, so that we all know in case we have any issues that we want to bring to your attention?
Absolutely, Dr.
Okay,
Lattimore.
thank you.
Thank you.
Ebonique?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ebonique Bethay. I joined LDC last year. I was pretty quiet.
Yes, you were.
just trying to soak it up and learn and figure it all out. But I'm excited this year to participate as much as possible, jump in wherever needed, just be of service. So glad to be here.
Thank you for coming out tonight. Delegate Turner?
Hello, everybody. I'm Delegate Turner. Oh, I'm just so sorry I held everybody up, but I'm here now, and I had Delegate Woods. Her office is next door to mine, and believe me, I am just so happy she came over here and helped me. See, praise the Lord. That's all I can tell you. Praise the Lord. But I'm here, and I'm ready to go with you. Dr. Lattimore, I'm your right-hand lady.
Yes,
So
Delegate Turner is the co-chair of the LDC committee, and her spirit gets us fired up to have a meeting because she will keep you laughing. Thank you, Delegate Turner, for being here. Miss Barbara Holt Streeter?
Good evening, everyone. It is definitely a pleasure and honor to be with you all today. As Dr. Lattimore shared, my name is Barbara. I serve as the Director of Strategic Partnerships in the Office of the County Executive. And what we always say is that we connect, collaborate, and cultivate relationships. It's what we call the C3. And we're happy to be a part of the LDC support team. And we're here to support and provide any information as much as possible, and walk alongside of Dr. Lattimore and Delegate Turner.
Thank you, Ms. Street. I appreciate that. I look forward to working with you as well. Letitia?
Good evening, everyone. I am the administrative coordinator for the County Exec Strategic Partnerships Cluster. And I am here in the capacity of supporting the LDC, Dr. Lattimore and Delegate Turner, as it relates to administrative duties for these meetings, as well as for the grant process. And so I'm here to support them however they need be, whether that be getting the website updated, getting minutes to you all, reminding you of the meetings. Forgive me for all of the wonderful reminders. And then also just to support in terms of how we execute and improve our efficiencies and processes.
Thank you so much, Letitia. You are a great asset to this team. So we appreciate you. Thank you. Ms. Curry?
Hello, everybody. I'm Sheila Curry. I work with Barbara Holt-Streeter and the beautiful Letitia Vinson in the Office of Strategic Partnerships. And I'm just here to help in any way I can. We love Dr. Lattimore and the whole LDC. So I also manage the Community Partnership Grant in the County Executive's Office. So I'm very familiar with grants and the process. So if you have any questions or if I can help and assist in any way, just feel free to reach out.
Oh, trust me, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Ms.
Absolutely.
Baker Mims? Deanna? Okay, we'll come back to her. Oh, there she is.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
My
evening.
name is Deanna Baker Mims. I am the grants manager within the Office of Management and Budget, and we help to support Ms. Holt-Streeter and Sheila Curry in providing support to the Local Development Council.
Oh, great. I'm glad we have a representative from management and budget. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, you have a great representative in Kanika Bynum as well.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Dr. Huggins?
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Evelina Huggins. I am the superintendent for all AME Zion churches around the Beltway, and I'm also a grant writer for the University of Maryland Health. That's what I do every day. And so I've been on the council for a year, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, thank you, Dr. Huggins. And again, we hope you feel better. So feel free to stay on mute. We don't want you to stress your voice because you need to go back to work and write them grants. Kanika.
Hello, I'm Kanika Bynum. I'm a budget analyst with the Office of Management and Budget. And so I help the county executive team with Ms. Barbara Holt-Streeter.
Thank you so much. So applications coming our way soon. I have the timeline right here in front of me. See?
We are going to work really hard to be better than on time this year.
Okay, no rush. Okay, Zara Isaacs.
Yes, good evening. Let me turn my camera on really quick.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm sitting on my couch. Good evening. My name is Zara Isaacs, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Grants for Councilmember Edward Burrows. So being in District 8, I deal mostly with LIG grants. So that's been my bread and butter right now. So me and Preston are joining this meeting this evening.
Oh, wonderful. He sent the whole team today, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
So we already have a grants team already. So with Miss Evelyn and everyone else that wants to be on the team, we're going to put you guys to work.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you for
ready.
coming. I think I missed Preston. Preston? Okay, maybe he had to step away.
I'm sorry, I am driving. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
I'll be
Okay.
home in like 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna come back to Preston and we're gonna go with the agenda and then we'll let him introduce himself when he gets back on since he's driving. So what we normally do and what I like to do, because I think is really interesting, is allow the delegates to speak so that they can provide updates in their areas of expertise. So the first delegate for Economic Matters Committee is Delegate Turner. So Delegate Turner, can you turn on your mic and give us a brief out of your area? She can't
Myself
find.
off.
There,
I'm just
there
trying
you
to get
go.
my stuff off of mute. Okay, yes, indeedy, yes, indeedy. I'm Delegate Turner from the 26th District, and I'm here just to let you know some of the things we're up here in Annapolis, so we're still here working. We just passed the budget. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do. You know, the budget's got to be balanced before we can leave here. So we passed it today.
Well,
Okay,
congratulations.
thank you. It's
Mhm.
just a couple of things that I just wanted to talk about, just to bring you up to date of some things that's going on. This session I have introduced with Senator Muse some bond initiative bills. One, the LBI for Rock Christiana Ministry, $50,000, and Camp Springs Elks Lodge, over $200,000. We put in bond bills together. And I just wanted to tell you just a little bit, if I have time, Madam Chair, just to tell you a little bit about each one, if it's possible.
Sure.
Okay, Rock Christiana Ministry located in a prominent location that will increase the opportunity for local underserved communities and is mostly composed of African American, Hispanic American, immigrants, and refugee population. The project will install, update technology, and will be accessible Okay, Rock Christiana Ministry will provide a safeguard in an indoor space for the community to attend, with a variety of activities for all age groups and backgrounds. Now, the purpose for the Camp Springs Elks Lodge is planning some improvement capital equipment in where am I? I'm missing. I lost my, okay. Property, which includes the log roofing, construction of a new outdoor patio, support communities event, charitable programs, and electronic grid for outdoor lighting to meet the new electrical code and reduce operable cost. Now, there was two bills. I just want to tell you about two bills that y'all might be interested in. HB, which means House Bill 360, known as the Prince George's County Retail Service Gasoline Station Fuel Service. It extended as a community safety bill that will require gas station to maintain a 24/7 full service pump for the community members, and that needs gas during the late hours of the day or night. However, the bill was withdrawn. I hate to tell you this. I thought it was a good bill, okay, because our seniors that come out at night, I just think that they needed their gas pump, but they gave some reasons why they pulled the bill. They withdrew the bill after debate included that the bill would place an undue fiscal burden on the owner of the gas station by forcing them to hire additional employees. The debate also brought attention of a risk it may bring to employees, such as a risk of harm of robberies. That is one thing that they was talking about, that if they I'm gonna bring it back next year. I'm just gonna put it to you this way. I'm gonna bring that bill back next year because I think our seniors need protection as well. And they can hire some more staff. And I know they can do it, but I'm gonna work on it and we're gonna work together to get this bill passed. Now, one more bill, and then I'll be finished. HB 805 is a bill that extend the fairness, distribute location of the quality of the location of the canopy dispensary. This bill will undo the burden that will be placed on the dispensary relating to where they are allowed to locate their stores. This bill prevent articles being created to stop the transport of cannabis through certain legislative zone to the dispensary. In final part of this bill, it established the distance that the dispensaries are allowed to be within a certain distance from a sensitive location such as churches, schools, daycare, within 500 to 2, and we changed the bill, we put an amendment on it that will go all the way to 2,000 feet away from churches and schools and daycare. So this bill is really on zoning. It's for them to put these places where the cannabis, they're going to put these places, and so they won't be in just one specific place. Prince George's County is going to have so many bills, and they putting them in each county so they don't go across the line to go in our, like in the Prince George's County, just to come over here to be with our dispensary. They putting them in their backyards as well. Okay, so I thought that would be good to know that we are working on this bill. Okay, so it's going over to the Senate side, and the Senate going to put on I'm gonna ask Senator Muse how the bill is going. We did crossover Monday. Crossover means all the bills that the delegates voted on goes over to the Senate side, and all the Senate bills comes over to our side until Sadi Die, which is April the 8th. And I will keep y'all posted about all the other good bills that we are going to pass. And I'm going to just turn it over to our newest delegate, Delegate Woods, so she can tell you. I am in economic matters and she is in health and government. So I'm gonna turn it over to Delegate Woods.
All right, thank you again. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you all. I serve on the Health and Government Operations Committee, and on the Health and Government Operations Committee, I also serve on the Insurance and Pharmaceuticals Subcommittee and the Health Occupations and Long-Term Care Subcommittee. During this legislative session, and I hope no one minds me saying it, but I got to say it, the Lord has blessed, and I was extremely excited to have had the opportunity to be the primary sponsor of 4 bills in health and government operations. They are the Medical Assistance Program, Remote Ultrasound Procedures, and Remote Fetal Non-Stress Tests. This ultrasound and remote fetal non-stress tests are an opportunity for pregnant mothers who are at risk to be able to get services at home. They can actually take those
I think she froze.
monitors to the mother. It could be a mother's break or take a break or whatever, or if she's at home. But that can be done in a home. That is extremely important. As you all know, we have major challenges with maternal health. And we have them here in Maryland. I'm very happy to say that bill passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. That's no small feat to have both the Republicans and Democrats to vote unanimously on the bill. It has gone over to the Senate. The next bill that I have also, and I'm gonna just say it for all of them, again, I had to give God glory for all of my bills have passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. That is no small feat. The next bill is the Advanced Practice Registered Nurses Certification Requirement and Exceptions. What this does is, you all know we have a shortage of nurses, right? This bill allows for students who are in school to do the same thing that people who are practicing to be doctors do, and that is to actually practice their trade under the supervision of a registered nurse. Just like a doctor serves as an intern, he's a student, but he gets to do things, surgeries and all of those procedures. Well, my bill passed unanimously says the same thing about nurses. If students are in nursing schools and they have met the proper requirements, that they are able to practice being a nurse under the proper appropriate supervision. The next bill is the Maryland Department of Health Public Education Campaign on prostate, lung, and breast cancer prevention. And this is a program because cancer has been a huge challenge for people in Maryland. It has been a huge challenge for people of color and marginalized populations. And so this bill, again, passed unanimously, will get a campaign out next year to help people to understand what are the things that you can do. What are the tests that you can take? What are the things that you can do to make sure your prostate, lung, and breast are in the best of health? My final bill that I was the primary sponsor of is called Health Insurance Appeals and Grievances Process. And this is a bill that demands that insurance companies are more transparent about why they are denying claims, why they are denying pre-authorization for services. Here's the challenge that we see happen so many times, and it has had an adverse impact on people, is the doctor would recommend a service or recommend a medication, and then the insurance company denies it. People have gone through 6 or 7 times through the insurance company, and then the insurance company approves it. My bill says if you approved it after 7 times, you could have approved it after 1. And so you've got to give us justification as to why you are making people go through this process, because a lot of people have had adverse impacts. Their health has declined, some of them irreparably, because they're waiting for a service that was initially denied and after much fighting winds up being approved. Again, if you could approve it the 7th time, what my bill says, you got to tell me why you couldn't approve it the first time. Again, that bill passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. Those are the 4 primary bills in HGO. I have a bill that's very close to my heart. Some of you may or may not know, I lost my son suddenly and quite unexpectedly back in September of 21, when I repeatedly asked for a welfare check. I knew my son had a medical condition and they would not complete the medical. It's a long story, so if anybody wants to know, I don't want to hold you up real late, but if it's a long story, the problem was I requested a welfare check and it wasn't done. I started at 7:30 and 2 in the morning. They didn't knock my son's door down till 6:17 p.m. He was deceased. He had had a seizure, fell and hit his head. They could not tell me how long my son laid there, despite the fact that I'm telling them, I know he has a medical condition. I had done all my homework, called his job. He didn't show up. He never was a no-show, no-call. Called his apartment complex. You know what I mean? I did all of the things, and then I couldn't get a welfare check, and I kept getting all these crazy excuses, because the thing was, all I had to have was Prince George's County to give approval, verbal approval. The people ready to do the check, and they instead blocked my street off and my house, treated me like I had broken the law because I'm telling them it's a medical emergency. And they spent so much time and sent so many people to my house, where if they had just sent one person to my son's home, he could possibly be alive today. So that bill also passed unanimously through the House, and so it's currently in the Senate. In addition to, thank you, those are the 5 primary bills that I have sponsored during this legislative season as a primary sponsor. I've also served as the co-sponsor of 79 additional bills in the House and Government Operations Committee, 4 bills in the Judiciary Committee, 3 bills in Environment and Transportation, 2 bills in the committee that Delegate Turner is in, Economic Matters, and 1 bill in Appropriations. If anybody wants to know about them, I'm happy to share. Last thing, I too submitted a bond request, a bond initiative, and that was again in District 26 in Temple Hills. Lauren Jones is a woman-owned, African-American-owned business. She has does therapeutic work, and so she is doing something called I Grow Therapeutic Garden. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. I am so sorry. What did I do with it? I can't find it now, of course. It's I Grow Therapeutic Garden. And her business is called Propel Production Center Incorporated, Black woman founded and led 501c3 nonprofit organization that specializes in social emotional learning, socioeconomic development, and social justice through art, nature, and play. And so her therapeutic garden is designed to help people to learn about the importance of gardening, because how many of you know that is so important right now? But it also is a very therapeutic process that helps people to work through the different behavioral health or mental health challenges that they're having. And so that is my bond initiative. The last thing is I put in the chat, I host a 26 district dialogue series with the rest of the delegates and Senator Muse, and I put the dates in the chat for you and ask you all to please come out. This is the time that we as a delegation talk about the things that are most important to you. On April the 27th, we're going to be talking about the cannabis. A lot of people have questions about cannabis and don't understand, what it all means. We're going to have that conversation on April the 27th. We also always highlight businesses in the 26th legislative district. We also highlight individuals or families who reside in the 26th legislative district so that people will know who their neighbors are and how we can be able to support each other. So those dates are all in the meeting chat. And I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has them. Thank you so much for the time.
No, thank you for your hard work. And on behalf of the LDC, our condolences to your son. Hopefully that bill was named after your son.
It's
Good,
called
good.
Gabriel's Law. Yes. And
Good.
there's one thing I completely forgot. May I ask Dr. Lattimore, this is a personal privilege.
No, sure. Because I was going to ask Letitia, if everything that you said, it was so much information, if she could just share that via email, especially the April the 27th.
We'll share.
Because I want to attend that. If you could just give all of that to Letitia, but yeah, take your time. Go ahead.
Okay, this is something that is really it's not good news, and you may or may not have heard that we lost a wonderful person today in the form of Miranda Jackson. Yes, she passed away actually in her office this afternoon.
Oh my
She
God.
was in my district. She was with the MBE compliance office in Prince George's County. She's been around for a very long time. And so she was in my legislative district. I just want to ask if we can just take a moment of silence. And I'm going to ask you all, please don't share the information on social media, because I have been informed that all of her family has not even been notified yet. And so I'm asking for your prayers for this family, please. And just if we can take a moment, Dr. Lattimore, just a moment of silence. This woman was a tremendous asset to Prince George's County. And so I just would like to honor her if we can take a moment of silence to do so.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Thank you. I am sorry for that loss. That, yeah, wow. Yeah. The street holder, can you take over?
Yes, ma'am. Will do. That's why it's so important that whoever you encounter in life, whether or not it's through the morning, evening, during the day, it's so important to just continue to be kind to one another, because you just never, ever know if that minute, if that day is your last day. And so you probably saw my expression as well, because I'm overwhelmed. I've known Ms. Jackson for a number of years. Many of us who have worked in this county, in this state, she was a pillar to so many of us, guiding and directing us as it relates to small business. So thank you, Delegate Woods, for sharing that and knowing that we are here as a community to be able to be there with her family as well. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We will now move forward. I don't think we have anyone, and correct me if I'm wrong, representing Senator Muse's office.
No, but
Okay.
I was going to ask, and thank you for that. I was going to ask if we could do an amendment to the agenda and allow Councilmember Burrow's office to report out if Preston would like to. Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Preston Ross. This is that was heavy,
Yeah.
say the least. Um, report out.
Or just give us an overview or some words from Council Member Burrows. I know one of his initiatives we'll get to on the agenda, but I did want to recognize his office because he has some representatives here.
Yeah, so our office, we've been working on a few initiatives here legislatively. The senior tax credit bill fix is one big thing that we have been working on. I believe last Thursday we had over like 100, I think my count was like 130 seniors who came to the committee to help us push the bill fix out of committee, and without their support, that wouldn't have happened. There are a few things in the works. We are, trying to push a year-round job and apprenticeship program for high school, middle school aged students. And so that's something that's in the works right now. And then just overall, we are looking at the budget for FY 2025 and kind of, I believe, Colin pushed that to you, Dr. Lattimore, about
Yes.
kind of getting some initiatives as we are looking for our funding and the things that we want to support legislatively and through our budget for FY 2025. And so we have, and then also a big cool thing, some of the LIG money to the recipients within our district and some of our partners, they received their money maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and so we're starting to see the fruits of those labors, of their impact within the community. I know one of which Zara has been working really closely with us as it pertains to we're having a scholarship program for people within Prince George's County. We have over, I want to say, like 90, 100K of scholarship money set aside to, award students from different backgrounds, whether it be academically, being in student leadership, working with ingenuity, things of that nature. And so we're just really excited. There's a couple of things that are in the pipeline. And so yeah, that's that. I think that's a really brief snapshot
Yeah.
of kind of the things that we're working on currently right now. And of course, if you have any, uh, there he is, the man of the hours.
Oh, he popped in.
And if there's anything I missed, I'll let the council member, take over from here.
Okay, Council Member Burrows, you're interrupting our agenda, but it's great to see you.
Great to see you. Great to see you.
So I gave Preston an opportunity because you sent the whole office. So I thought it was appropriate to like with Delegate Turner and Delegate Woods to provide you the forum to just speak to the committee. But Preston did a great job. So we appreciate everything that you're doing, and I was glad to hear him talk about the apprenticeship. I don't know if you remember, said you was going to get a meeting together for the trades. When I had brought that up and you suggested just get an apprenticeship program. And those were the type of things that were in play when I was in high school at Largo. So I think things like that need to be brought back for our young adults. But I'm going to turn it over to you. And you can have an opportunity to speak as well.
Thank you, Dr. Lattimore. And I've been here since about 7:13. I've just been observing. So
Oh, okay. A spy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I wanted to see how they were going. Good job, Preston. But no, I want to thank you, Dr. Lattimore. I want to thank our delegates, Delegate Woods and Delegate Turner, for their leadership in Annapolis. I also see our friend Barbara Holt-Streeter here from the county exec's office, and also I know we have Sheila Curry on the line as well. So I want to say hello to the whole team. But I think Preston did a great job. We'll be announcing a scholarship very soon. We'll make sure you get the flyer. So if you know of any young person who's interested, I know the delegates have a scholarship as well. Senator Muse has a scholarship as well. And so we want to make sure that all the young people in our district know about it and that they apply. We also As Preston mentioned, and as you mentioned, Dr. Lattimore, we are working very hard, almost on a daily basis, on a year-round jobs program that will include apprenticeships, that will include internships for young people. I think one of the best ways to put a dent in juvenile crime is to pair young people up with mentors and people who they can see and actually get paid.
Yep.
And so we are. I've reached out to everyone from, in Camp Springs, we have the United States Department of Citizenship and Immigration. Ben Carton's office is helping us to get interns there. We're going to meet with Andrews Air Force Base. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be meeting with everybody at National Harbor. I spoke with the lobbyists for the Commanders, because we know a lot of especially our young men love football.
Yes.
While the Commanders, don't tell my dad I said this, they're never going to do anything great anytime soon, but they might just enjoy going to the games and working at the stadium,
All right, you got a season ticket holder here. Keep it moving.
right. My dad used to force me to go, and but now Barbara and I go all the time. So we'll see what happens this season. But, trying to find very quality internship and apprenticeship partners now. And so we'll keep you posted on that. As Preston mentioned, we put in the senior tax credit bill 2 years ago. There was a provision in that bill that tied it to your homestead property tax credit. And because of that, thousands of seniors who should have gotten it didn't get it. And so we have a bill in to fix that, and it passed committee unanimously last week, but it only passed because we had so many senior citizens there. And we hope that as the bill continues to progress, we'll continue to have participation. One of the things that I'll give, and this I'll be quick, then I'm not on the agenda, but the last thing that I'll say is, we have a real issue in the district with financial literacy and access to financial resources. And, we've partnered with the Prince George's County Federal Credit Union, where any resident in our district, if they're willing to put up $44 a month, we will put up $44 a month. And at the end of the process, we've seen people increase their credit scores by over 70 points, between 30, around 70 points on average. And your credit score is connected to your ability to buy a home, to buy a car at a great interest rate. And we have 500 slots for that. So we'll be announcing that in April. Delegate Woods and I are working together on some mental health stuff, and I actually want to extend an invitation to the LDC. So Dr. Lattimore, you send me the appropriate list of people from the LDC that you want to participate, but we're going to have a 988 mental health campaign in all the high schools to get out all of the mental health resources, because a lot of the community and our students don't know the different mental health resources that exist. So we're going to start out with a competition with all the high schools, between the clubs and the high schools, and whatever club wins, we're going to give $7,500 for uniforms or field trips, whatever they want. And then the next component with Delegate Woods' idea, and we thank her for doing this for free for us, there's a mental health first aid certification. And so Delegate Woods is trained in that. And so she'll be training all of our high school students at Crossland, Friendly, Knox and Hill on that. And then it's going to culminate with an activity on May 30th and 31st at the Gaylord with Taraji P. Henson, who is from our area. And I would love for the LDC members, if you're available. I know folks have to work, but we're going to have our students showcasing their campaigns and what they've done. And I would love to include you and, of course, our delegates and our senator and, Barbara Holt-Streeter, because I know you are deeply passionate about those topics as well. So that's some of the things that we're working on. But if I say too much, I'm not going to have anything next meeting to say. So I'll be quiet.
No, we appreciate that. And I am super grateful that when I asked you about the apprenticeship, that you took that up and just kind of ran with it. I think it's an excellent program. Like I told you, I have a grandson that did that because college just was not for him. And he is 25 and just bought his own home. He's been in the program for, I think, 5 years. And I just really think that that is such a year-round program that starts students and these young adults off, especially our African American males, which we are losing by numbers daily. I'm passionate about trying to figure out how we can help them. And so thank you for that. And if you could extend an invitation to the LDC for the May 30th and get the scholarship information out. I mean, I have neighbors that are asking me about scholarships. So with MPHC PG, they had a whole bunch. So I sent those, but if Letitia can send out that information on scholarships from the Delegate Turner and Delegate Woods and you, we can pass that information as members out to our community. I can put it out to the HOA and things like that. And it's information like this that we don't get on a regular basis that we should. And I implore you that if you have information, please send it over to Barbara and any of you guys. We don't have to wait for a meeting. If you have some more tomorrow, send it over there to Barbara and, Letitia and Miss Curry and Miss Street Holder, they can send it out to the LDC committee because that may be information we need right then and there. So yeah, I appreciate it because mental health is one of my passions too. Go ahead,
We will
Preston.
definitely follow up with all of this information. I'll make sure that our office gets you that information, and then to the council members' point, the list of people from the LDC, like we would gladly take that to make sure that you guys get the invitation. Thank you, Letitia. Me and Zara will follow up with all that info.
And thank you so much for the invites. As the committee, we need to get out and know who we work with, kind of just show up. It's kind of hard for some of us that we work during the day, but you have my word, I'll attend as much as I can. And I just want to thank y'all for all the work you're doing for my district in the Fort Washington, Clinton area. But the focus right now, I think, is on our youth, because it seems like the African American male population is being I don't know the word. It's just like going away for no reason. So hopefully with some of these programs that will help. So thank you again for coming, and thank you for showing up. You didn't have to check on them. Preston was shocked I called on him, but he was ready. He was on his toes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, Delegate Turner.
Yes, can Letitia put her back in the chat? I want, you want me to send my
Send it to
scholarship
Miss Street
information?
Holder and
Oh,
Letitia.
Street Holder. Okay.
Yes.
I can send it to you. Can you put it in the chat again so I can write it down? So I can have
Yes.
my people staff. What is it, baby?
Letitia, just put her email address and I will say it as well. It's in the chat. It is L as in love, V as in her last name, which is Vincent, V as in Victor, I as in ice, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, O as in open, N as in Nancy. That's LB Vincent at CO dot PG.
Oh, dot PG.
Dot MD.
Dot
US.
Yeah, dot US. Okay, I got it.
Okay, and Barbara, tomorrow, can you just send that out again, an email blast to everyone with you guys' contact information as well?
Yes, Letitia will definitely do that tomorrow. Okay. Yes. And I just want to share one thing, and I see council member may be off, but if not, I see Preston. Okay. Councilmember, do you know Bashan Shaw? Is that a name that sounds familiar? She has a mental health app.
I don't think I do, but if you can connect me with her, that'd be
I
great.
will. Okay, I'll send an email this evening. Preston, do we have your email address? If not, if you can put it in, I'll send it to council member and to you, Preston. So an opportunity, maybe you all can do some work together. We did send information to her about the LDC grant, but I think it's a really great app to connect our students and our teachers, and it's right in line with what you had shared as well. So at least want to make sure there's some introduction there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're going to move through the agenda. A lot of great information. So on the local development council roster, is it something specific, Ms. Holt Streeter, that you wanted me to talk about in regards to that? I know that we have enough individuals now so that we can, review apps and make recommendations.
No, I think it was just adding in there just to make sure who everyone was, and you already did that in the beginning.
Okay.
You had a chance to introduce everyone. So I think we are moving right along, and this roster is becoming stronger and stronger, and Letitia is stepping in to say something else.
Okay.
One things we do want to do is identify which of our members are
Right.
residents and which of them are representing institutions or businesses. I do know Dr. Huggins represents a institute, the faith community. I'm not sure about the rest, but we do want to list that appropriately on the website. I did also mention at the beginning of the meeting that if there's any information that is not accurate on the roster, to please email me and let me know so that I can keep that updated. And if there's any alternative contact information, like for instance, Delegate Woods and Delegate Turner have both provided chief of staff so that we can contact them as well in the event that they don't receive the emails or communications. So just making
Letitia,
sure
did
that
you
it's
want them to
updated.
put it in the chat or to reach out to you directly?
Just reply directly.
Okay,
so
so
that they
send
can
you
make
an
sure.
email.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so everyone on the committee here, can you please send Letitia an email tomorrow and let her know if you're representing a business or a community?
Okay.
It's a community for me, Letitia. Okay, we're not going to go through the operating procedures. I did ask Letitia to attach it so that everyone does have a copy of the LDC operating procedures. Please take a minute to read them. A lot of it has to do with how this committee operates, attendance, which is truly important, because without the members attending the meeting, we have to make quorum. So there's some language there about attendance and how long each one stays, on the committee. And we truly appreciate everyone's volunteering for this. So when I look at the grant committee, we now have applications. I think the last day for applications was the 20th or the 21st, which may be
22nd.
tomorrow. 22nd. Okay. So once those applications are in, we normally let the strategic partnership office do their job as far as, going through them and making sure that the applications are acceptable. What we need from all of us is a committee of members to review those applications. The oversight committee, once those applications come to us, and they're going to be here pretty quick, we normally have at least a 2-week turnaround time once Kanika finishes with them. But everyone on the committee here, I would like for you to send Letitia an email if you want to be on the committee. I know I had a couple of people that have already volunteered. Miss Evelyn Wilson, definitely. She wanted to help out, and I had another young man, I'll get you his name, Letitia, tomorrow. But we need at least a committee, depending on how many applications we get. I would say we would need at least a committee of 6. And we do welcome someone from Ed Burrows' office, Councilmember Burrows' office, to sit on that committee. So with that said, is anyone, can I ask here, is anyone interested? Please raise your hand. And maybe with the little emoji thing, if you could
Oh.
just use that, and Letitia can kind of write down your names. I will be the chairman of the oversight committee, and I will also sit there and help rate those applications. And I have the score sheet and things of that nature. Once those applications come in, Kanika or Ms. Holt Streeter's office will notify us, and then we will get together as a committee, and we will set up some time to rate and, you know, give instructions so that we can get these applications back to their office, the strategic partnership office, because then they have to look at those too. We have to present our ratings to the LDC and get the delegates buy-in and Councilmember Burrows' office's buy-in as to how we rated them. And we just want to make sure that everybody has a stake in the process. So that's really the process. And it will probably be taking place starting in April. I think Kanika said that she would get the applications to us in April. Let me look at my timeline.
Nika's here if you wanted to have her speak to the timeline, Dr. Lattimore.
I know she's so tired of repeating this process, so I'm trying to look at my thing to give her a break. The review process Kanika has from April 19th through June the 7th. Now, keep in mind, that's the time where it's nice outside and people want to go places and you don't want to sit inside and rate applications. So I try to schedule some time during the week in the evenings, but once we go through the process and everyone knows the rules of engagement for these ratings, we tend to go off and take the, you know, divide the applications up and you rate them, you know, during your time, and then we come back and meet, and then we come back and write up a summary to present to the LDC committee. Kanika, did you want to say anything?
No, I think that you pretty much went over the process. Yep, that's what needs to happen, and that's the timeline.
Okay. So I'm really looking forward to this team of 6 or 7 or 8. The more people, the less applications we have to rate. How about that? All right, I appreciate it. So moving on, Councilmember Burrows has extended an invite that the LDC and his office get together and have a lunch or a dinner. How do you guys feel about that? I'd like to have some input. I think it's a great idea. I look forward to it. I will, you know, ask Letitia and Ms. Street Holder to set it up, but, you know, I'd like to know what your preference is during the week, on the weekends. Do you even want to do that? I don't want to be the only one speaking. What about you, Ebony?
I'm open to during the week, on the weekend. I am more of a lunch person, but I could do dinner as well. But I'm pretty open and flexible. I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
I
Ms.
agree.
Cheryl Laster.
Yes,
Hi.
hi.
I know that you came in late and you didn't introduce yourself, and my apologies for skipping over you and Sharice Lane. So do you want to introduce yourself really quick?
Sure, I believe I attended one other meeting before, but I'm representing Delegate Jamila Woods.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we need to let you speak. Do you have anything from the delegate? Because she was on the agenda.
Oh, she was? Oh, okay. I
She's
didn't
always
realize
going to
that.
be on the
Miss
agenda.
Wood spoke, Dr. Lattimore.
Okay,
She
okay,
did.
she did.
Okay.
All right. And Miss Lane?
What you want me to introduce myself or answer the
Yes,
question?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Sharice Lane. I'm the business owner of Green Bar in Fort Washington in the old Village.
Okay.
And I think the dinner is a great idea.
All right. Thank you so much. So, Letitia and Miss Streetholder, if I could ask if you guys can kind of coordinate that for us with a date and a time. Send out an email and coordinate with Council Member Burrow's office, what would be a good date and time, and get that set up. And I look forward to doing that. Would you guys be able to do that with us, for us?
Yeah, so we can send an email, and Preston, would you serve as a point of contact, and we'll copy council member
Yes,
Burrows?
just send
Okay,
it over and I'll make sure that that gets taken care of. I appreciate
okay,
it.
thank you.
All right, thank you both. So the next item on the agenda is items for discussion for the next meeting. One of the areas that I don't know whose area represents this is I think that the LDC can kind of do a better job of reaching out to some of these 50, these nonprofits, because a lot of them don't really know that we exist. I know we have a website. One of the things I think Letitia had asked me is, what do you want to see on the website? So do you all on this committee have any ideas of how we can better update the website? Letitia and the Strategic Partnership Office has done a great job thus far. I think when she does put on the website what business you represent and things like that, that would be a plus. But other than that, are there any suggestions of what we would want to put on the website? And if you just want to think about it and get back to us, let us know. Delegate Woods, did you have a question or something? Okay. So is there any issues within your areas or your districts that the LDC can help you with? And that's to anyone. Or what would you like to see within Prince George's County? Things like that. And we can take back to Mr. Burrow's office. Other than the, I'm sorry, I call them pot stores, but I know the proper name is cannabis now. I've never been a fan of that. But anyway, hopefully that will work out where they're 2,000 feet away from schools and things of that nature. So we truly appreciate Delegate Woods working that and Delegate Turner. So
Can I
Delegate,
just jump in one real quick
sure.
thing? So it's highly unlikely it's going to be 2,000 feet away. I can tell you that right now. It's highly unlikely because if you count 2,000 feet, you're talking about, I forget, maybe like a quarter of a mile or more than that.
Yeah, that's what I was praying for.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's highly unlikely that's going to happen. But just to give you a point of again, personal, my son suffered from a debilitating seizure disorder. Cannabis was one of the very few things that actually helped him with his seizure disorder. And there are a lot of people who suffer from issues like cancer and a lot of other debilitating diseases that cannabis, and you have to understand, cannabis was a plant. Now, y'all know I'm a pastor and I'm a preacher, so I go back to the word. I just got to go back. The Bible told us that God created those things for our healing. We went and messed up and started using things for inappropriate purposes that were meant for our healing. Cannabis in its appropriate medical form is so helpful to so many people. It helps people with dealing with issues with their eyes. It definitely helps people that are dealing with any types of issues related to pain. It helps people dealing with neurological issues. It helps people, you wouldn't believe. And that's why I'm really hoping that you guys will come out on April the 27th, because we're going to have the professionals so that people, we're not selling these pot stores where you're going to see people hanging around. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not it. As a matter of fact, and I told you, I'm a pastor preacher. I voted for cannabis. I supported it because it will help to get rid of this criminal system that we have going on. It will help us produce a product that is more pure, more wholesome, and more healthy for people. When you go into cannabis stores, and I'm gonna say this, Dr. Lattimore, y'all, you might take me up on it or not, but I would love to take some of you guys to a cannabis store, and I think you'll be shocked at what you'll see. They are one of the healthiest, nicest looking, cleanest.
I've seen them. They're clean.
They're very nice. And again,
Yes.
they're not selling stuff for people that you can't go outside and start smoking and all of the things, that we get in our heads that's going to happen. I just really hope that we will sit down, have the conversation, ask the questions. Please, if you don't agree with it, we still want to hear it. Right? We want to hear it. We want to hear your concerns because, like you, Dr. Lattimore, we want to make sure our children are safe. We want to make sure our neighbors are safe. We want to make sure that people don't have to come to us. If they want this, then they should have it in their own neighborhoods, right? Don't send everybody to our house. You know what I'm saying? Spread
Yes.
it out, spread the wealth. Let us all be responsible. Let us take the criminology away from it. Let us not let people know you're not going to be making no real good money. You know what I mean? Trying to do this illegally. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
And I think that's my concern. If I go down 210, I can just smell it, and and I just like, oh my God, I can't stand that. But I need to be, I'm never too old to learn. I need to understand the other side of it. So I do plan to attend on the 27th. But my concern is the criminology part. And see that I think that's a lot of our concern.
Right. And people need to understand, you shouldn't be driving down the road smelling cannabis because it is still illegal to smoke it in the car.
I
It's
understand.
like drinking and driving. So there's a legality behind it. And so we need to, now somebody just said they're concerned about the tobacco shops. Tobacco shops are not selling cannabis. Right? So we need to know the difference between
Do they
what's
sell
going
the
on.
materials for cannabis?
Now that part, I'm not going to say I can honestly answer, but I want to say I don't believe so, or I don't know, so I'm not going to answer it prematurely.
Okay.
But I can tell you that don't be confused. Tobacco shops are not cannabis stores, distribution centers. Okay? That's a whole nother issue, the tobacco shops. And I'm more inclined to agree with you about the tobacco shops.
Ebonique, did you have some input?
Yes. I am totally not against the cannabis shops. I'm more against the tobacco shops, particularly because if you look at, there are so many tobacco shops very close to dialysis centers.
Yes.
And we know that tobacco, what it does to the body. And as a social worker who worked in dialysis, dialysis centers are surrounded by tobacco shops and and liquor stores. So it's like they're coming for treatment, but they're surrounded by things that are killing. So for some reason, it's just like we're inundated with tobacco shops. So I don't know what can be done, but I just feel like in other communities, it doesn't look like ours. I can go to a tobacco it could be in one shopping center. You have 3.
Yeah, and I'm
With a
thinking on
dialysis
Oxon Hill Road, there is a dialysis center, and there is a tobacco shop, and there is a liquor store. Just like right in that order.
Yep.
So yeah, I never thought about that.
And no healthy food options there. So it's just like you could preach to them and try to do what you can, but they walk out the door and are inundated with the things that have taken out their kids.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, You know, one of the things also, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, is that if you have any discussion points that you want to talk about or have the LDC address at the next meeting, please send your agenda items to Letitia. And we will definitely put them on the agenda the next time. That includes Councilmember Burrow's office and all the delegates. You know, it's the more information that we have, the more knowledge and information that we can go back and give to our communities. For example, with the budget this week, looking at Ms. Alsobrooks's proposed budget, I went and just downloaded that budget and sent it out to all of the HOA members of my community. And I can say about 89% of them were shocked with the 171 shortfall or whatever that number was. But they appreciated that information because they never read a lot of information. And sometimes, you know, especially elderly individuals, they like seeing things in writing versus, you know, looking on a computer. So I hand delivered a lot of that in their mailbox, you know, so that we can keep our community informed. So again, send your ideas to Letitia so that we can fill up our agenda. My goal, and I think the entire LDC's goal, is to work very closely with our delegates office and council member Burrow's office. They have a lot of great initiatives. One of them that I've heard a lot of people rave about is the security cameras issue for Jay-Z Agnew. May he rest in peace. That has been one of the biggest success stories, at least in my community. And I think when people hear about that, they think about, I'm going to do it for Jay-Z, not more so that I can be secure, but to make sure that this doesn't happen to anyone else. So initiatives like that, kudos to Councilman Burrow's office and to the delegates for pushing things like that. That's what takes care of people. So with that said, does anybody else have any additional comments or questions? Suggestions? Go ahead, Ms. Streeter.
I just had just a comment. I wasn't going to say it, but I will say it. Yesterday I saw Miss Miranda Jackson in the parking lot, and I had not seen her in a while. And I was getting out of my car, and she stopped, and she was driving, and she said, "It's so good to see you." And I went over and I just touched her hand. And I told her it was good to see her too. And she said, "You always look so pretty." And I said, "So do you." And she said, "You know what? God is just so good." And to know that was our last conversation. And again, I haven't seen her in a minute, but that's what I said earlier. It's just you never know what your last conversation or your last post or your last interaction will be with someone. And I just do believe that you just always have to share the kindness with others, take the high roll. And if you're mad at somebody, go back and make amends. But always know, at the end of the day, we're all public servants. We're all here to make a difference and impact our community. And I do believe the more that we work together, we will be even stronger.
Amen. Yeah, I'm going to really miss her. My condolences to her family. That was a shock.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, I would like to thank everyone for attending tonight. Keep Ms. Jackson's family in your thoughts and prayers. Everyone here, be safe and take care of your family. And just what Barbara just said, I think we really need to keep that in mind on a daily, monthly, hourly, minute basis, because we never know when we're going to be called home as well. So with that, I would like to entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So move.
She always does. Okay, a second, you seconded. So with that in mind, the LDC meeting for the month of March is hereby adjourned. Thank you so much for everybody. I look forward to everyone, working with everyone. Please come back. Preston, Office of Management and Budget. And I look forward to forming the committee so that we can review these applications and make sure that the money that is being given to us is being put to use for the proper purpose and for the proper amount. I don't know if Councilmember Burrows is still on the phone, Preston, but please ask him, don't take any more of my money, of our money.
You right.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night. Good
All
night,
right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Tasha,
Good
you got a lot.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Be safe, everybody.
Be safe.
Bye. Be safe. Yes. She is.
Mhm.